webinar on maximising the new features of Writer's Toolbox is designed to demonstrate the new learning journeys so that you can really understand how to drive this aspect of Writer's Toolbox in your school. As you can see from the screen, there are a number of different features that we are going to cover today in detail. So we'll start with a bit of an overview. We're going to have a look at the learning journey map, and then we'll really get in and explore the learning journey manager functionality. So the Writer's Toolbox modules allow students to practice and learn and be assessed on the key skills that are the foundation of the Writer's Toolbox program. There are hundreds of fun and engaging modules available, and these are replacing the format that you might be familiar with, so the beginning, developing, proficient, advanced level structure. Students will enjoy developing and exploring their knowledge and skills behind great writing, and they will now journey through these activities in a developmentally appropriate structure, all packaged in an engaging, age-appropriate visual theme. Now, all students begin their learning journey fresh. So this means that any data from those previous level-based modules has not been carried over into the new learning journey, but this is a really great opportunity for your students to go back now and revise and to cement those skills. So if they had completed some of these modules in the first few weeks of school, really encourage them to go back now and revisit and continue to practice. Don't forget as well that each time they do an activity, the questions are new again, so they won't just be repeating the same thing over and over again. Okay, let's get started. So we are going to start by having a look at the learning journey map itself. Now I am going to access this by going to the blue learning journey icon. As a teacher, you can access it at the top of your page or also from the center here. Now for today's session, I'm going to be using the Australian Year 7 Learning Journey map, which is the New Zealand Year 8 map. This is just as an example though, so I know we have people here from a range of different year levels. The structure and the functionality of all of the maps is essentially the same, so this is really just an example to show you how it all works this afternoon. So this is, like I said, our Australian Year 7 map, or the New Zealand Year 8 map. And as you can see, the modules are organised into stages. Now, just as a side note, if you are seeing a different map to your students, that will just mean that you have your writing ability levels set differently to your students. So in order to ensure that you're seeing the same thing that they are, you just need to go to your account details via your dashboard and ensure that that writing ability level is set to match your students. And this is also how you can move between the maps for the different year levels. So at the moment on the Australian Year 7, if I wanted to go and check out the Year 8 learning journey map, I would just change my details via the dashboard to that Year 8 level and I would see the Year 8 map. So if I sort of hover over the map here, you'll see that as I move across the different stages, they maximise and give me the opportunity to enter into the stages. Now, each stage consists of a number of modules that have been developed in a sequential way that is going to develop your students' skills as they move throughout the stages. Now you have the option to either have the whole map open and accessible for your students, like mine is here. I could go in and click into any stage that I wanted to, or you can actually control how the students access these stages. We will have a look at this functionality a little bit later on. For now though, I'm actually going to move over to my student view. So I'll open up my student learning journey map. Again, access the same way through the blue learning journey icon at the top. So here I am as a Year 7 student, or a Year 8 student if I'm in New Zealand. And I'm going to enter into, let's have a look at stage 2. So stage 2, I can see that I have 4 modules here that I need to complete in order to complete this stage. So I've got a couple of modules here on the sentence styles and then modules on expansion and precision. We're going to come back to the expansion one shortly because that's one of our brand new modules that I want to give you the opportunity to have a look at. What we can also see here is the little completion bar for each of these modules. So the completion bar is showing me how much of the module I have completed as a student and what my average score is at this point. We're going to jump in and have a look at the Explore the Subject sentence module. So if you are familiar with the traditional module structure, you will see that a lot of the same components are still here. It's in a much more visually engaging structure now, but on the left-hand side, we have the information so that the student can learn about this particular writing skill, in this case, the Explore the Subject sentence. So they can do their reading. And then on the right-hand side, we have the more interactive components of the modules. And we've got 4 different components to have a look at here. So the first one is our video. You've probably seen the videos before. A lot of them have been redone and are nice and new. And these videos generally go for about 2 or 3 minutes and introduce the student, in this case, to the subject, and it will explain to them why we use that particular sentence style and give lots of examples to support the student's learning as well. Then we have a little 10-question quiz. We'll click into that one. Again, you may have seen the quizzes before. These are a really great way to either do a bit of pre-testing of students' knowledge on this skill, or to do as an activity as they've been playing around with the skill in class, or even at the end of introducing this concept to your students to test for understanding. So they're just little multiple choice quizzes here. So the students have a countdown timer that is going to be encouraging them to keep going. They have 5 minutes to complete the quiz. So students will work their way through the 10 questions. And when they get to the end, they just submit. And it will give them a breakdown. So it will show them which questions they got correct and incorrect, and then their overall score here as well. They can also then retry that quiz if they want to have another go at doing a little bit better, or they can just click the done button to return. Then we come to 2 activities around the Explore the Subject sentence. We've got a drag and drop activity, so we'll have a quick look at this one. And this one is requiring the students to fill in the blanks within a sentence and focusing all just on this one particular sentence style to really cement this learning. Again, there's a countdown timer, so this one gives them 10 minutes to complete that activity, so a little bit more time to do their thinking along the way, but also that gentle encouragement to keep going and to get it done. Okay, we'll go back and have a look at the second activity. Now, many of you will be familiar with this one. It is a popular one amongst students and teachers alike. It is the sentence train. Here we go. So it brings out our little train here with the different parts of the sentence, and we have to restructure it so that it makes perfect sense as a sentence and also place our punctuation correctly. So some really good skill development and practice here for the students. So these activities are fantastic for the students to do independently on their own account, but something like the sentence train is also really great to project up onto your board and to be doing together collaboratively as a class as well. Now, the 4th component in this module is what we call our story challenge. So this will give the students a text to read, as we can see on the left-hand side here. There is a little text to speak button available, so if you would like the story to be read aloud to the students in a real person's voice, then that ability is there for you. And then the students have 2 quizzes to complete. So they've got a little content quiz, which is essentially a reading comprehension test, and a little writing quiz. So again, testing out the students' knowledge and understanding of this particular writing skill, the Explore the Subject sentence, and how it has been applied within the context of this text. Okay, as promised, let's jump out and have a quick little look at one of the brand new modules. So expansion is one of our new modules. And again, same structure. So we've got our information and our 4 components over on the right-hand side, but I just wanted to jump in and show you the activity that is available here. So this activity is really great for students having to think about the logical development and sequencing of their paragraphs. So in this case, it gives the students the first sentence of the paragraph and the last couple of sentences as well. And then it gives them a variety of sentences here to choose from. They need to select 3 sentences that they are going to sequence appropriately to expand upon a particular idea. Let's try this one, maybe that one, and I think we need to end with that one. Perhaps, let's give that a go. Submit. Now there are lots of other brand new modules as well. We won't spoil all of the surprises now, but hopefully you'll find that your students really enjoy the interactivity of these new modules. We're getting great feedback from students and teachers already saying how much they're loving these new modules. They love that they're fun and engaging, that the students can do them either independently or the class can do them collaboratively. So get in and have a look around and see what you can find with the new modules. Okay, just coming back to this screen here again, the other thing that the student can access is their results. So if we click onto the little results button here, it will bring up this little breakdown of the different components within that particular module. And it will show the students which ones they have completed and how they're going with them as well. So a really great way for the students to track how they are traveling with the completion of these modules. You as their teacher will also get the opportunity to see this data within the Learning Journey Manager, which we are going to jump into very, very shortly. But really great for the students to actually take that responsibility of looking at their own data and seeing how they're traveling as well. So we've just covered the Learning Journey map so far. There was a lot in that one. We're going to have a look more closely at the functionality of the Learning Journey Manager from the teacher and admin view. Okay, let's do it. Let's jump into the Learning Journey Manager. So I have just returned back to my teacher view here. And again, I can see that I have access to my entire map. But in order to access the actual management tool, we need to go back home again. And we access the Learning Journey Manager via the green school admin icon. And we just select the class that we are going to manage. And you'll see now that you have a tab that is called the Learning Journey Manager. So we click onto this one. So we've got lots of different things that we are going to explore here. You can see straight away there's quite a bit going on. This really allows you as the teacher to dig a little bit deeper with the completion of these modules, to look at the data, to track the students' progress, but also to make some changes to the modules that are available to your students as well. Down the left-hand side here, you can see that this is the list of our modules broken down into their stages. So I can see the modules that are available within stage 1. And as I scroll down, I can see the full list of all of the modules that are available within this particular learning journey. If I scroll down a little bit further, you'll see that some of the stages might just be collapsed at the moment. So I just click onto the little arrow button to expand that. And I can actually expand all of them out so that I can see the full list of every module that is a part of this class's learning journey. So you will have the full list available to you here. We also have a little information button here. Now, when I click onto the information button, there's a number of things that are available to me. Firstly, I have a little overview of what this particular module is all about. Then I have curriculum links. Now, if you are a New Zealand teacher, you will be seeing your New Zealand curriculum links here. Australian teachers, you will be seeing the Australian curriculum English links, and you'll see them for year levels that you have within this class. So you can see really clearly how these modules map to the Australian curriculum. You can also access the module directly from here. So if I wanted to have a quick look at what the simple sentence module included, there's a little hyperlink here. So I just click onto the heading itself where it says the simple sentence. and it actually opens in a brand new window for me. So I can have a quick look at the module, and go and check out the activities, and then to return back to my Learning Journey Manager, I can just close that window back down and I'm back to where I was. Now, the other thing that I can do here is I can see all of my students that are within my class. So at the moment, I can see a few of them, but to see all students, I can either just scroll across, and there they all are, or there's a little next page button there as well. So I can click onto that to get over there a little bit faster. For each student, you'll see that there is a number just sitting next to their avatar face that will reflect their writing ability level. So if you have changed that level for any of your students, that will be reflected here. I can also click onto their face, their box right there, and it will take me to that snapshot data page. I'm sure you're familiar with this one. The students also have access to this data via their performance icon. But if I want to quickly check in to see how this student is traveling and get the breakdown of some of the key skills of their writing, then I have that available to me nice and easily. The other thing that I can actually access here, if I click onto, so I sort of hover over the student, and down here I can click to actually view their account. Now I've got that snapshot data again, but the most important thing here is that I have direct access to their account details, and that will allow me to adjust that writing ability level. So if as part of this process, I decide that I would like to move their level up or down, I can come straight here and edit and do that really quickly and easily without having to navigate away from that Learning Journey Manager page. Coming up to the top left-hand corner, you can see that we have a filter function. You might find that having all of the students on this page, it's quite a lot of data to have a look at all at once. You might want to filter it down to look at some specific groups of students. So we do that via the filter option. So we click onto the drop-down arrow there, and we can see that at the moment, every student is selected. So if I deselect all of the students, I can now choose how I want to filter this information. I can filter it by year level. So if I have multiple year levels within this class, I can do it that way. I can also filter by those writing ability levels, or I can even filter by group. So if you have created small groups within this class, I could click onto one of those groups, and now I can see just those few students that I have added to that group. Just makes it a bit easier to manage this data with the smaller number of students. I could also do this for individual students as well. So I'll just select all students again, and I can choose an individual student. And now when I look at that page, I'm just seeing that one student's data, which is really great if you're having an individual conversation with this student and you want to have a look at that data together, or even for parent-teacher interviews so that you're not accidentally sharing any other student's data. If you want to then return to the full class, we just hit that clear filter button. Now, while we're up here in this top left-hand corner, let's have a look at this little box next to it. Now, this one comes with its own warning, and I'll show you that in just a moment. But this is the require 80% pass rate to access the next stage. You are choosing to require all of your students to achieve at least 80% in every different component of these modules before the next stage will unlock. So as an example, if we look at stage 1 here, which is all 5 modules in this particular stage are coloured green, and we'll talk about the colours a little bit later, but that is telling me that she has achieved at least 80% in all of them. So if I had this box ticked, her stage 2 would now be unlocked because she has achieved that 80% pass rate. However, the other students, if I just scroll back again, we can see that the other students would not yet have stage 2 unlocked. Now, the reason it comes with a warning, and I want to click the button and show you what happens, you get a big flashing sign saying, "Are you sure?" The reason for that is because this is a school-wide setting. So if you do tick that box, you are putting that setting on for all students and in fact all teachers in your school as well. So that is definitely a discussion that you need to have as a school, but a really great opportunity to have a conversation together to really think about the benefits of doing this, of having that setting ticked and come to a consensus. Now, if you decide that, yes, we are going to have that setting in place for our students, you can override this for your teachers. So yes, we want our students to have 80%, but we don't want to all have to get 80% in every component as well. As a teacher, you can just access your account details and just edit. And there's a sneaky little box down here that you can tick that says access all learning journey stages. If you have that one ticked, then it will override that setting that you have in place and you'll still be able to access all of the stages. So yeah, have a bit of a think about that as a school and make your decision. We're going to have a look in a moment at what else you can do to control your students' access to these stages. So you have a think about all of the different options and then have that conversation and come to a decision as a school. So accessibility, this is how you can manually control how your students will access these stages. So if you decide that you're not going to have the 80% pass rate setting, you still have the ability to control your students' access here. So if I come down and have a look at my stage 1, you will see that there are padlocks all along the top here. These padlocks allow you to do that manual controlling of the stage accessibility. So you can see this padlock here that is directly next to my stage 1 heading. It is unlocked at the moment, which means it's unlocked for my whole class. And if I have a look across there, I can see that all of those padlocks are also unlocked. Same with my stage 2, but if I come down to stage 3, you can see here that this one is locked and it is effectively then locked for all of my students. If I would like to unlock this particular stage for my whole class, then this is the padlock that I want to click on. I'll do that now. So we see once I unlock that, it has then unlocked it for all of my students in my class. So one quick button to unlock it for your whole class. However, if you decide that you want it still locked for the majority of your class, but there are certain students that you would like to give access to, and that could be for a range of reasons. You might have some fast finishers, some speedy students who are ready to move on and you would just like them to have that access, then you can decide to come over and just unlock that stage for the individual student as well. You can also unlock these stages for your group. So if you are back in your filter setting and you filter to a particular group and unlock the stage there, then it will be unlocking it for all students who are a part of that particular group. So let's get in then and have a look at the ability to track your students' progress. So if I scroll back up the top here, I'm sure you would have noticed quite quickly that there are a lot of different colours happening here. We will go through what the colours mean in just a moment, but let's have a look at the numbers that are appearing in all of these boxes. So the first number here is showing me the average score that this student is currently achieving for all of the components of this module that they have completed. And then when I come over here, it will tell me how many components have been completed. From there, we have the color coding system that will reflect these scores as well. So lots of green there showing the students that have achieved at least 80% average score for these particular modules. So we can see all of those ones. Then we have the yellow or the orange boxes. These students are currently sitting somewhere between 50% and 79% for their average score. And then the red boxes are reflecting students who are currently sitting below 50% as an average score for that particular module. Don't forget that the data that we're seeing within this learning journey work is also feeding into your class and your whole school data profile as well, which I'm sure many of you are aware you can access via the performance icon at the top of your screen. Now we can go one step further here. We can, as a teacher, click onto any of these boxes and get that breakdown that we saw earlier that our students can also access. Again, really great information as a teacher where we can see, okay, that's great. They have achieved 95% and it took them 2 attempts. Or, as we can see here, they're only sitting at 43% and they've already had 2 attempts. So what's going on with this activity that is preventing them from having further success? We've just gone through and had a look at both the accessibility and the tracking of student progress. And we're going to jump in and have a look at a couple of really exciting functions here around assigning modules and access to additional modules as well. So this is something that teachers have been asking for a really long time, the ability to actually assign a module to students. So in a similar way that you would set a task and send that out to students, you now have the ability to do that with modules as well. So it's very exciting. We've got a couple of different ways that you can do this. So firstly, let's have a look at how we can assign a module to our students. Okay, if I come over back to my list again, I know that at the moment I've got stage 1 and 2 unlocked for my students. Now there will often be situations where you think, okay, that's great, they're working their way through these 2 stages. However, I am about to have my students write a lawyer paragraph and they don't yet have access to that module. So if I scroll down and find my lawyer paragraph module, here it is. It's sitting in stage 3. Stage 3 is currently locked for my students. So instead of unlocking the entire stage, perhaps I'm not quite ready for them to access all of those modules just yet, I can come to the lawyer paragraph module and we've got this little quick assign button here. It looks like a little paper plane. And if I click onto this one that's immediately next to the little information symbol, this will send out this module to all of the students in my class. It is literally a one-click process. So I'm clicking that quick assign button. It has turned green to show me that I have now assigned this to my class. If I wanted to, I could also assign this to individual students. So again, perhaps I wanted just one student in my class to have access to the compare contrast paragraph module. I could come across that row, find that individual student and just click the quick assign button here and it will just send it to that student. In a similar way, I can also use my filter and filter down to ability levels or to my groups and send out those modules just to those groups as well. So you've got quite a few different options here. So I have sent out that module to my class. If I jump back over to my student account and just remind you that stage 1 and 2 are unlocked, but stage 3 and all subsequent stages are currently locked for this student. So if they want to access this lawyer paragraph module, they can't do it via this locked stage. So they need to access it from their dashboard. And we just saw that a notification came through and there it is, you've been assigned the module. So it happens immediately. And the students can click onto that hyperlink there and it will take them straight to that module. Or the other option is to come down to the skills section of their dashboard and you can see they've got a little heading here now called next modules and there it is. So the lawyer paragraph, it's hyperlinked again so they can simply click onto that and access it here. Now if I for some reason decided that I didn't want the students to have access to that module, so I want to take back, I can just click on that quick assign button again and you'll see it will turn back to grey and it's now retracted that module from the student. So if you accidentally click that button, it's a really easy fix just to bring it back again from your students. Now the other thing that you might see with these little quick assign buttons is one that has actually turned yellow. So I can see this one here is yellow. What that means is that another teacher of this student has actually already assigned them this module. But that's a really lovely way to check that that great cross-curriculum writing skill acquisition is happening. You know, if teachers in different subject areas are also assigning this module, then the students are getting that repetitive learning and teaching around this particular skill. So a great little way to check that. Okay, we've got one other really exciting little function here that allows you to also assign modules to students that sit outside of their scheduled learning journey. So like we just saw, we can assign modules that appear later in their learning journey or in locked stages of their learning journey. But we can also come up to this lovely button up in the top left-hand corner that's probably been calling out to you for the last 20 minutes. That is called additional modules. So when I click onto this one, this actually gives me access to all of the modules that are available across all of the learning journeys. Perhaps I'm going to decide that my students they're going to write a persuasive piece, so we're practicing persuasive writing, and what they really need to work on is being able to support their ideas with some evidence. So I think argumentation is where I'm going to go. What have we got? Here we go, supporting your ideas. That sounds perfect. What I would firstly do is click onto the pink information button. And I'll see here that this one is actually within the year 4, 5 and 6 learning journeys. So my year 8 students would be sent the version of this module that is closest to their year level. So in this case, they would get the access to the year 6 version of this module. Again, I might want to go in and have a look at it and help me to make my decision as to whether it's appropriate for my year 8 class or not. But if I decide, yes, I think that actually is going to be quite beneficial for them, I'm just going to tick the box. It will show you over here that that is the module that you are going to assign. So I could do multiple ones there if I wanted to. And then I click assign. And that is going to give the students an access to this module that actually sits completely outside of their learning journey. And if I scroll all the way down the bottom here, right to underneath stage 10, and there it is. So I've got supporting your ideas. I have assigned that to my whole class. Again, if I need to quickly unassign it, I can just click that button again and it will retract. But I can track here how my students are going with the completion of that extra module that I have set to them. So that sort of brings us to the end of the presentation side of things here. And we really hope that you and your students enjoy exploring the new learning journey. Please remember that we are always here to support you with your Writer's Toolbox journey. So please reach out if you have any questions or concerns.